That's just a simple biological equation because men produce millions of sperm every day.
Yeah.
Women produce one egg per month. It's easier to control one egg than it is millions and millions of sperm. So that's just a biological function. That's why it's like that way. It's not because, you know, scientists are mean and misogynistic and want to kind of put it all on women. It's just that it's easier that way. Which is kind of this, you know, you just got a barrier. You can just have a barrier. But it's just a tough thing to work out.
Also, when it comes to women, we know the days that we can get pregnant. We can be a little bit more risque with it and be like, okay, I may not have to take the pill today. I may not have to go get a plan B. We know when the peak time for us to get pregnant. That's why I think it'd be more so on the women than the men. I'm not giving all fault to.
I'm gonna be maybe I'm just gonna be like old school here, but look, we all know how babies are made, man, woman. We all know how this process works. So number one, some people won't like me saying this, but I don't think you should be having sex with people who you're mortified with the concept of having a child with.
Exactly.
Right? Like if the thought of having a child with that person is going to be like the end of the world or some horrible, then maybe you shouldn't be. And this goes for, I'm saying this for men too. Right? I'm saying this for men too. If the thought of that woman getting pregnant by you makes you want to run to the hills, maybe, bro, you should, be careful there. So, these conversations sometimes frustrate me because it's like, it's kind of, it's like, look, let's just be mature about it and make good decisions and don't be reckless. There's different options out there. Anyone who knows me knows I'm straight up pro-life. I don't think that executing the baby is the way forward at all morally. But there are many things you can do to prevent that and not get to that stage. So I think I don't want to let men off the hook on this at all because we both sexes need to just be responsible and sensible with this. Like sex is not. I know that modern society wants to push out and indoctrinate everyone with this message that it's just some completely random, inconsequential fun activity like ping pong or going to the or whatever, but it's like it's got very serious potential lifelong ramifications. And it's how we all got here, right? It's like it's a major thing, and with something that can have such potential ramifications, people should not treat it so carelessly. I think that's the truth of it. It shouldn't be treated so carelessly and recklessly. And I think if and by the way, people always knew this. Like, this isn't some new. I'm not saying something new here. People knew this forever, which is why there were certain behaviors that were frowned upon or promoted, and so on and so forth. It's not just trying to be mean to everyone or to cramp down on their liberty. It's like, well, children are the product of this.
Yeah.
I just think that birth control should be banned.
Oh, wow.
It should be taken off the market.
I agree.
Okay.
I feel like that's all.
I think
I think women shouldn't vote.
My stepdad. Now, if I told you that my stepdad had 14 children, what do you think about that? If I say my old stepdad, my late stepdad had 14 children. Now, I said to you, my son's dad had 16, and my late stepdad had 14.
Interesting.
The only difference is he had 13 from one woman.
Okay.
But the only reason why it's able to progress like that, I believe, because of birth control.
Can I ask what you guys mean by that? By saying you think birth control should be
honestly,
banned?
how could you
shouldn't
put
be
that
able
on
to
the guy? I would
decide.
put that on the woman.
So basically, she's saying that a woman should not be able to decide to terminate a child.
Oh, I see.
I didn't say that.
No, she said
I didn't say that.
That's what birth control
say
is,
that.
right?
No.
Contraception.
Listen,
I feel
ask
like-
some traditional Catholics. And they'll tell you about birth control. You want to get pregnant, you have sex. Otherwise, you know when you're ovulating and you work around it. Because proper Catholics don't believe in birth control.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
And my late stepdad, his former partner was Catholic. They had 13 children. So every time they were going to have sex, they knew that if we have it at this time, or there's a possibility, because in those days I didn't know about ovulating, you're going to get pregnant. So if every woman and every man went out there, especially the women, because they're the ones that have to carry the baby, if you knew that every time you had sex, there's a possibility you got pregnant, there'd be less sex.
So where would I stand as an atheist who doesn't want kids?
Yeah.
As an atheist, you don't want kids.
I just can't have sex, or just have to work around when I'm going to be ovulating.
Yes.
If I have normal periods, that be it.
Well, you can just work your way around it.
How?
Yeah.
Or just tie your tubes,
Yeah,
get everything worked out.
I'm pretty trad, but I'm not in favor of banning birth control.
Send it back.
I also because I am pro-life, and I don't want that would just lead lead to a massive spike in abortions, and I think that would be.
I think there's more abortions now than there was back in the day.
There are more abortions after the development of birth control than before.
I think we're talking about things in an ideal world. I think we're forgetting about people's self-determination. You can say to someone, "You shouldn't do that." That's as naive as as a parent of a teenager going, "Don't go out and do drugs and have sex." They're going to do it anyway, and that's what we're like as society. We're going to go out and have sex. We're going to do it whether you.
But the difference
not.
is with birth control, you take away the consequence, and I just think there's ramifications when you take away the consequence. If you look at after the development of birth control, like the chart of when birth control was introduced, and then the divorce rate in society, it's like literally the same.
But if we take away birth control, what would happen to the abortion rates?
Exactly.
I think women would be. I think women would just be more careful with who they slept with.
But then that's too much pressure on the women.
Yeah, that's too much.
I don't think so.
I don't.
Show your legs.
Okay, you don't. Okay, you don't think it's okay. You don't. Okay. You don't think it's good that women should be careful with who we sleep with.
Yes.
No, I think they absolutely should.
That one 100%.
Right. So because you said it's too much pressure.
It's too much pressure to. Like, oh my gosh, like I can't.
Ovulating.
Yeah, I'm ovulating. I can't have sex.
That's
I'm
mad.
gonna end up being pregnant. It's too much pressure on
have
your
sex
mind.
with your
love.
husband
It's too much
only then.
pressure.
Guys, can we understand that women get horny?
Exactly.
Are you guys okay with that concept? You know, like I am horny outside of my ovulation period.
Listen,
I
right,
want to
then
have
you just
sex.
take
Women have got horny in the 50s.
take your birth control,
Women have
right?
got horny from day one. Women were getting horny before birth control.
So you shouldn't have sex if you're
No.
horny.
I'm
because it's
saying
not your ovulation
Okay.
period.
Like I think it goes back to what Zuby said, to not sleep with someone where it's horrible if you have a child with them.
Of course.
That I agree
That I
with.
definitely agree with that. Yeah.
Right. So you said it's too much pressure. Like people used to get like pregnant back in the day before birth control. They just have a shotgun wedding and figure it out.
Yeah.
Because
but
it wasn't the end of
the problem is that cat is out the bag now, right? So in the past, in a much more traditional and a much more religious society, the answer to a premarital pregnancy, simple answer, get married. And that's still a good answer for a lot of people as far as I'm concerned. However, with the way that marriage has changed, there have been too many changes to then go, okay, let's ban birth control now.
Yeah.
And you've already let all these other cats out the bag. To me, that's just chaos. I don't see the upside.
I just want to see what happens.
Yeah,
I feel like girls would make better decisions if there was a consequence.
I don't. I think you just get a huge spike in abortions.
Yeah.
I think you'd get a gigantic spike in abortions.
No, we should ban that too. Let's ban both.
Okay, well then that's different. I'm much more in favor of banning that. And by the way,
say ban it all.
I don't think that. I think that because that out would still exist. So what would realistically happen is people would still just go around and have their sex or whatever because this
prosecute them.
Lightheaded.
Send them to jail.
Oh man, I thought I was conservative. Pearl's like 50 lashes.